everybody. Did you miss us? I hope you did, but we're back. Yes, we're back, baby. It is the Two Ps in a podcast, and we are here to brighten up your day with the only way that we are able to. For those who don't know us, welcome. Nice to have you here. My name is Katie, and I live here in the UK. And my bestie for life, glamorous co-host, she's looking gorgeous today, is the...
Hey, everybody. I'm Jessica. I'm over here in America, Florida, to be specific.
I always have to give her intro, right? Forever and ever. We do that. It's not even a podcast thing. That's just a life thing. Every morning, it's my glamorous bestie. Cheers!
Yeah, she does the drum roll and everything. Sometimes it takes ages. I'm just sitting there waiting for her to finish.
You're like, girl, what? But we actually got a topic today because the last few months we've kind of just, life. But we actually decided we had to come on and chat about something today. And it's going to be an interesting chat, I think. So do you want to introduce the topic first, babe?
Sure. So Katie and I have both decided to rejoin the world of dating.
I know. We're brave, I think.
I know, right? I'm sure that people are like, what? But yeah, we've decided to rejoin the world of dating, and we're actually doing it together, which is such an interesting...
Not together. We're too far apart, not like that.
We are doing it together. Like, we are both on dating sites. We're both talking to each other about what's going on, our experiences. And I just think it's interesting because, like, in our long friendship that we've had, for those that are not familiar, we've been friends for pretty much a decade now.
Yeah.
We haven't really been in the dating scene at the same time.
No.
Like, it's been different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just interesting to me that we're both doing it together at the same time. And, I don't know, it's just interesting. But yes, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how different dating is nowadays versus when we were last doing it, because I've been single for 7 years. She's been single for how long?
9.
So, and really for most of that time, since we've been friends with each other for the entirety of that time, haven't really been focused on dating.
No, we've been finished. Yeah. Like, it's our kids and hustling and building the business, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So this is like our focus right now, and I'm going to talk about that. Going to talk about dating sites in particular, because I find it to be just interesting and horrifying at the same time. So yeah. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, but we'll get into that. So yeah, this is nice, like a 3-step process. I like that. But let's start at the very top. So yes, we are back in the world of dating, and like Jess said, it has been a minute since we've both been there, especially together. For me personally, I mean, I don't even want to get into the kind of the exactly what happened, because I mean, but for the sake of podcast land, what I will say is that essentially I had my heart broken over Easter, and it was rough. The girl was like, it was rough. Jess, it was the whole thing. Many messages of me to be like, lots of that going on. And as hard as it was, actually one of the things that came out of it, a good thing, was that it showed me that I'm ready. Right? So I was like, okay, but I didn't just like jump on to dating apps immediately. You got to do her work, because we know, right? You got to do your work. But I got to a point where I was like, actually, I'm ready. And so that was kind of the catalyst moment for me. What about you? Why now?
I just feel like I'm ready to meet somebody. Like, I've really focused on my career for a long time. I've focused on my mental health. Yeah. I have done a lot of growth and a lot of work on myself. And I just feel like I'm ready to experience life with somebody. Like, I don't really need a man for help with my bills or any kind of really big stability in my life. I just want somebody that's a companion. Like, yeah. I'm looking for companionship, Yeah. Not that my kids aren't great. they are great, right? But yeah, I'm ready. I need an adult companion. Yeah.
I get that completely. Like, I always say, this is the first time in my life where I feel like I don't need a man. I want one. And that's a whole different energy, I think.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because it's, first of all, you have to have your own expectations going in, right? Like, I am a firm believer in moderating your expectations. So, it's okay to have expectations of what you would like to have in a partner. And I think that, having those expectations is really good going in. It helps you avoid the unnecessary, which we're going to, of course, talk about. There is going to be lots of juice in this podcast. So, yeah.
Yeah, buckle up, because we're not going to name anybody's name, but we're going to give you some tea. So buckle up, because it's going to be a good one. But yeah, I mean, what I will say as a kind of introductory thing to it, saving the word, is that, as we said, 9 years single, done a lot of work on myself, a lot of therapy. I've done the whole personal development thing. I've done a lot, and what I've realized is it's a whole level of doing the work by yourself, for yourself, with yourself. That's just one level. You put yourself back into dating, and it's like, oh, I haven't done as much work as I thought I had, because now I'm like, it's re-triggering, it's all of the things coming back up, and it's like it's another layer to process, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. It's funny because way long ago when I had therapy, like, I don't know, it wasn't the first time, but it was one of the times. And I had went after a pretty particularly rough, like, heartbreak that I had felt with somebody. I was like, okay, I need to go to therapy, because the way that I felt like I was reacting to it, I thought wasn't healthy, and I wanted to get some perspective on it.
Yeah.
And she actually encouraged me to continue to try to date, because she said, like, you can only do so much of this kind of work on your own, which I didn't really understand what she meant until, yes, you're trying to go out there and date and you're getting triggered by things that you think that you've healed. And it's like, okay, that's what she's talking about.
Yeah.
So I think that makes sense for you. Me and you have had completely different experiences. Well, we've had similar experiences, but we are in different mindsets about this. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll get to that, because like
I said, there's like this weird.
I like it though. I like it.
My blinds are right there. It's like a whole thing, but yeah.
No, it's working. You're working it, girl. The light. I like it. We'll leave it. But yeah, when we get into the tea, you'll see the insecurities popping up. I'm sure we're going to talk about it. The other thing you said, which is a very valuable thing to mention, is why dating apps. Because, we've got older people in our lives, the older generation, and of course they didn't do dating apps. How could they? So there is still this mentality sometimes of being like, we'll just go out and meet someone. But there's an issue with that, isn't there, my darling?
I mean, yeah, it just depends on your lifestyle, right? So, like, some people who are very busy, some people who are maybe more introverted and don't necessarily want to go to a club or a bar. I find it also, like, interacting with humans nowadays is a lot different than it used to be. Like, I get kind of surprised when I'm at the grocery store and people want to have small talk.
Yeah.
Because it's just something that doesn't really happen. We kind of avoid each other and keep our eyes on what we're doing. And so picking somebody up at the grocery store, although I have heard of that happening, isn't really realistic, I feel. For me personally, why I am on a dating site is because I live in a tiny town. We have one grocery store in my town. That should show you the scale of how small my town is. So It's slim pickings around here. So I need to be on a dating site. We have bigger cities, like we have Gainesville, we have Jacksonville around within like a 45-minute, an hour drive. So I'm finding that a lot of the men that I'm talking to are in those cities. There's very few that have been actually here in my town.
Yes, I get it. Whereas the difference is I actually live in a city. I live on the outskirts of a city, but I am in a city, which I haven't lived in a city before. So that's a whole interesting thing. But my thing is that I just don't go anywhere. I'm self-employed. I work from home on my own. I'm a single parent with children, obviously. And so I just don't go anywhere. And that's like, I'm sure there'd be some people that would be like, we'll go out. But of course, it's not that straightforward. My home life is very set. My daughter has autism. So it's quite difficult for me to have, go out, like I say, to a bar or a club like I used to. It's like, how are you going to meet someone? And of course, dating apps are where most people are these days. So,
yeah, I agree. And it's like, for me personally, I can't throw a stone around here without hitting a married person. Like, everybody is married, okay? Like, everybody is married. So I just feel like it's impossible. I'm sure it's not. And I would love to meet somebody organically. Like, like offline, and just happen to be here and they happen to be there and we happen to mesh well. Yeah. I would love that. but it just, doesn't seem to work out that way. So that's the reason why I'm on dating sites. But the reason why you might choose, the viewer, you might choose to go on a dating site is your own reason. And you shouldn't need to have to really have one. Like, if you want to go on a dating site, go on one.
Absolutely. There's no justification here. It's like, if you're just want to try it, then try it. It's well, you've got nothing to lose, as long as we'll get into, you just being very aware of what you're doing.
Yeah, I think the reason why I'm kind of defensive about it is because of that experience that I had with that guy. Basically, I had been talking to this guy very short, like it wasn't long at all. And not only was he intimidated by me as a person and everything that I've accomplished in my life, he also was like, I don't even understand why somebody like you would be on a dating site. It's like, okay, because for me, like when he said that, I instantly thought, well, why are you on a dating site? Do you think of yourself as damaged or desperate or needy enough? Is that how you project people to be on dating sites? Because that's not what I think. I don't think like, oh, this person's on a dating site, they must be like a loser. Like, hello, you're on a dating site too. It just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm a little like defensive of like why I'm on a dating site.
Which, like I say, we all have our stuff to heal and work through, right?
It's just fucking ridiculous, man. Like, I'm telling you, like, the shit that I have heard from people on these dating sites has just been enlightening so far, so.
But we're breathing it through. We're wassuing it out, and it's all good. We're going to be good. We're going to be we're getting to it. It'll be fine. So, key points. Dating has completely changed. It's not just about the online space with the apps and stuff. It is the nature of dating itself, right? And because of social media, we think of like TikTok and Instagram and all this, which of course is the constant dopamine hit. Now you've got these dating apps where it's like scroll left or scroll right? Left for no, right for yes. But we both know, I know you get your thumb in, but we both know, there is this thing where you don't want to be a shallow person, right? You know that connection and all attraction isn't just based on what someone looks like, right? It is a whole thing, right? It's their personality, it's their values, it's their sense of humor, it's their intelligence. There is a multitude of things that goes into attraction. But on a dating app, all you're ever going to do realistically is this person physically attractive to me? Yes or no? Because even if it's a no, it's a no. If it's a maybe, then you can open up their profile and kind of read more about them. But on that first, it's yes, no, yes, no. And it is like a freaking meat market sometimes.
No, I agree completely. Like, as much as you don't want to be shallow on these dating sites, your initial, when you get their profile picture, whether you're Xing or whether you're swiping, it's like that initial of, or no, absolutely not, or oh yeah, I've said this a ton of times, and I'm going to say it here. To me, online dating is like shopping for fruit or vegetables at the market. You're never, and I don't care what anybody wants to say out there, I do not believe you. You are not going to get that tomato that has a big dent in it. You're not going to get those apples that are all busted up and have cuts in them. Are those apples still good? Of course they are. Is that tomato still good? Of course it is. But you're not going to spend your hard-earned money on it, are you? And that is the mentality, unfortunately, that everybody has on dating sites.
Absolutely. I was going to say, there are places now that sell wonky fruit.
Yes.
Right. And it's like, we need a dating app where it's just like, we are the wonky fruit of people.
Girl, bye. Okay, girl, bye. I'll probably be on that site.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm humble enough to be like, I am not the most attractive person. Like, I am aware of that, But still, like, everybody, again, having your expectations. I am the type of person, I am a sapiosexual, as are you.
Yes.
And so I am very attracted to intelligence. Mm-hmm. I've talked about this on this podcast before. I love somebody who loves their hobbies. Yeah. Who has a passion. Like, if I meet you and you're somebody that's like, I have every single airplane model, and I build them and they're all on my shelves around my house. Like, I find that to be so attractive because you're passionate about something. I don't have to care about it. It's your hobby. For me, it's you being passionate about something. Yeah. However, you do need that initial, there has to be something to me that is like a little bit of an initial spark. Yes. I think an actual like great concept for a dating site would be to have blackout where you can't see the person. Based off of your interests, you talk. And then after you have developed like, okay, well, I actually really like this person. I vibe with this person. Reveal.
There's a, I don't know if it's got it in the States too. I mean, you've had the dating show Blind Date, and there you have. That's kind of was here as well. But there was a show called Love is Blind, where literally it is people talking, but they can't see each other.
Mm-hmm. I haven't heard of that, but I think that would be traumatizing yet fun at the same time.
It would be the reveal, right? Because it's like, you know, again, it's so funny how that concept of physical attractiveness feels shallow, and you feel bad for thinking like, well, I'm not attracted to you. Well, that's okay. You know, it's, you know, you don't have to be attracted to everybody. No. Right? So everyone's attracted to us. It's fine. But it's like that moment of like, I like you as a person. You're funny. We get on. And then you do the reveal and you're like, ooh.
That is so evil, y'all. It is terrible. So I don't know about that, but I feel like, yeah, it's one of those things where I have had lots of boyfriends in the past where my family and friends have been like, Jessica, do we need to get your vision checked? Are you mentally okay? Like, is there something you need to talk to us about, right? But I love them. I thought they were the sexiest men on the planet. I was devoted. I was into them because of their personality and how much we like meshed. I didn't care. Like they became more physically attractive to me. Like it was like one of those things where looking back now that we're broken up or we're done and gone or whatever has happened, I'm like, okay, I have questionable choices that I've made. But I do understand myself at the time of where it's like, if I really like you, you do become more physically attractive to me.
Absolutely. I get it. I think the way I'm trying to approach it now on dating apps is so it's not so yes or no. So it's not like he's either really sexy and hot or he's not. If there's that middle bit, right, where it's like, meh. If there's something about them where I'm like, well, he's got a nice smile, or if there's something, I lean in and explore. Whereas before when I was doing it was a very simple yes or no. Now there's this maybe gray area in the middle, which I will go in and I'll kind of look through the profile more thoroughly and then make a decision. I don't just immediately kind of, and sometimes I've said yes to people where, you know, I don't feel the spark, but I can see something in them. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's led to something, but I'm open to the possibility that it might.
Yeah, and we've talked about this too. And, you know, keep in mind, guys, whoever is watching this, we are human beings with our own opinions, our own bullshit and trauma and all that stuff. So we're just giving our opinions. You don't have to agree with it. But we have talked about this where being a little bit suspicious of people who are too good looking on dating sites. Like it's almost like a little bit of a red flag for me if you're too good looking, which is sad because like good looking people need love too. You know, and there's good looking people that are good people. Like it shouldn't be like, you know, oh, well, you're good looking, you must be horrible. But I feel like that's fair because I'm pretty sure that men probably feel the same way. When they see a beautiful woman on a dating site, they're like, okay, why are you on this dating site? Why are you still single? Is it like one of those situations where it's like a wax apple but it's rotten inside, like, you know? So I think that that's actually natural for humans to kind of be a little suspicious of somebody who looks like they have everything. Why would you be on a dating site?
And of course in 2026 the other added element is AI, right? I'm Facebook friends with a woman who literally got catfished by a guy who was like AIing his own photographs.
Yeah, and they have like I don't know if I think it's on Facebook Dating and I think it's on Hinge too, where they have the selfie verification. Yeah. So you know, and I do selfie verification and I'm like the standards are low because with me and my hair done right now and I have like, you know, I have concealer on, I do not be looking like this late at night when I'm cruising the dating sites with my hair up in a messy bun. And I'm like, hey, you know, like if the software says this is me, it is so good. But it's kind of like, you know, I just feel like the standards of that. But anyways, you got to be able to laugh at yourself, which
Oh,
I'm
God,
very
yeah.
good at doing. So.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Because the whole thing is ridiculous. The whole thing is insane.
Oh my God, it's so ridiculous.
Oh, it's so ridiculous. And which brings me on to a really good point, actually. I saw this morning. I was doing my TikTok scroll. I do it in the morning. And there was a guy talking about online dating. And I was like, God, yeah, that's a really good point. It's this. When I say game playing, I don't mean like manipulation, catfish, and lying. What I mean is you present the best version of yourself, right? You know that thing when you first meet someone, everyone's on their best behavior because you don't know each other yet?
Yeah.
There's this like presentation of self. It's like you plus, right? It's like the best version of you. It's everything. Now, the issue is, if they then like you and you start talking, you can't maintain that. You can't be that version of you forever because that's not human, right? We have our insecurities and our fears and our crap and our whatever. So at what point do you then introduce that? And then with the I suppose underlying trauma that like, oh God, they've seen the real me. When can I show the real me? What if they run away from? And I know if they see the real you and they run, fair. But it's this weird space right now of like, you feel like you can't show up as your authentic self.
I feel like making a good impression isn't just on dating sites. I mean, like, think about when you talk to a client for the first time, or you have you go to work. Like when you go to work, you brush your hair and you brush your teeth and you smile and you're polite and everything. I think that it's the same kind of concept. My thing is like, make put your best foot forward, but also just be authentic to yourself. Yeah. I feel like, and this is something that I feel like it goes with the work, right? The inner work that we're doing. If you are trying to hide part of yourself because you feel like somebody won't accept it, it's because you don't accept it. And that's what needs to be the focus. It doesn't need to be, will this person accept me? It's, do I accept me? I'll use myself as a perfect example. Tarot. When I was on dating sites way back in the day, but I've been single for a long time. So like years ago, when I was on dating sites, I didn't want to mention that I was a tarot reader because I thought that people would look at it as weird. And people would look at me as like, oh, you're a witch, or you're different, or you're weird, right? So I would say I'm a life coach, which I am. I'm a certified life coach. So I am a life coach. It's not a lie. But that's not really the majority of my job. It's not what I do. I am a professional tarot reader and content creator. That is what I do. Now, I am who I am. And it's very open. It's very much, this is who I am. And it's because I have accepted that part of me. It has nothing to do with what other people will think. It's me. So I think that that's something to think about when you're on a dating site and you're like, well, I don't really want to tell them that I have 3 kids. You need to accept that you have 3 kids. If
like, somebody to find out.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody is going to judge you because you have 3 kids, they're not the right person for you. Yeah. But that doesn't start with them. It starts with you.
Yes.
Because if somebody comes in my house, they're going to see my 50 million tarot decks. They're going to see my altar to my ancestors with all the weirdness. Okay, they're going to see all of that. So why hide it, you know?
Yeah. And there's no guarantee that, every connection's going to go to that point of them, allowing this person into your life. But what if it does? They're going to find out, and then they're going to be pissed off and hurt that you weren't honest with them anyway.
Well, I think that that's where your expectations of dating come in. Like, what are you dating for? Are you on this dating site because you're bored and you just want somebody to talk to every once in a while? Or are you on this dating site because you want to integrate somebody into your life?
Yes.
Because if that's the point, then you need to walk that way from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I am slightly ahead of you on this whole journey because you girls had a date, right?
Yeah. I'm like terrified of going on a date. So to be fair, I've been asked out on dates, but I'm just like, I don't know you.
But that's how you get to know people.
I know. I'm just like, I'm like, look, 2026, it's still not safe for people to meet online. And I am somebody who is very like suspicious, and I have to be honest. I just am.
Yeah.
And so I'll take that step when I'm ready. Anyways,
I know you will. I mean, there are caveats to this, right? Because I did have one guy ask me if he could take me out in an evening, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I don't know you. You know what I mean? As a woman, and I don't want to say that every guy is, a predator, whatever. What I'm saying is we don't know which ones are. So it's like I have to protect myself. So I have very strict rules. I will only meet you in the day, and I will meet you for coffee initially because it's a short snap of time, right? It is, and it's local. So that, and he doesn't pick me up. He doesn't drop me off. He does not know where I live. I will meet him there. I will have a coffee or two, and then I'll go. And it's a very kind of short snap of time where we can meet each other in person and see, is there something here?
Yeah, and I think that that's a really healthy, smart way to actually approach that, you know? And so I'm, you know, again, like we've said in the beginning, me and Katie doing this together, but a clearly different mindset and processes. So would you like to tell us about
the dates?
Your experiences.
The dates. So he's not, I wouldn't say he was my normal type. It wasn't necessarily like, again, it's one of them. It wasn't necessarily like physically like, oh my God, he's like, wow, he's fine. I didn't really think that. What I really liked about him was actually his intelligence. We were messaging quite a lot back and forth. And this was a guy who could write in full paragraphs, people. Full paragraphs. Which, I mean, Jess will tell you as well, one of the big issues with dating is when somebody doesn't really engage and you're having to carry the conversation. It's so annoying, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely, because you looked at my profile and you deemed me worthy, quote unquote, of messaging me. Why aren't you talking? Like, you know what I mean? It's just so weird to me.
One word answers, or just like, I say, hashtag bin, yeah, I'm at work.
Then why are you messaging me? If you're at work and you're busy, I get it, hun, because I get busy too.
But what do I do with that? I'm like, okay, cool, nice, good for that. Me too, happy for you. So this guy was full paragraphs, and he was, you know, he was funny, he was asking questions, he was interested in me. He was ticking all the sapiosexual boxes, right? So I'm like, he asked me, can we meet? And I was like, yeah, sure, we can meet for coffee, da da da. So, you know, and although I'm not like, I haven't got the girl, because you got to feel the girl, I was open and I was curious, and I thought, well, we'll just go and meet him. And we sat for 3.5 hours, which again it is a short snap of time, but it was longer than I thought it was going to be. And we didn't stop talking the whole time. Again, I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, I don't necessarily find you like I don't necessarily would want to like, you know, lean in that way. But I really liked his company. And I thought I was open to the possibility that this could become something, right? Anyway, so it went really well. And we had a little bit of flirtation, a little bit of banter, whatever, but nothing too heavy. Hugged me, gave me a kiss on the cheek when he left. I walked home again, doesn't know where I live. And then he sent me a message later on. And then the next morning he messaged me to basically say, I think you're beautiful, sexy, funny, kind, clever, blah, 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 blah. You're a catch. You're not just my catch. And I was a bit like, initially, we talked, right, Jess? And I said, you know, if I'm hitting all these markers, then what? Like, what is it you're looking for? But in hindsight, I actually really respect the fact that he didn't string me along. If I'm not his person, that's absolutely fine. And good luck with you, wherever you want to go and whatever. But I'm actually really happy that he didn't just he didn't feel that way about me, but couldn't tell me.
Okay, so the things that because we did in fact talk about that. And
yes.
The thing that I liked about that interaction was that he was an adult and had the uncomfortable conversation. Yes. Because part of being an adult is having the uncomfortable conversation.
Yes.
And part of being an adult is also being able to handle what we can perceive as rejection, right? Like he didn't vibe for whatever reason. And so, okay, we respect that. We've had our moment. Let's move on, right? And I really like that energy because that's how I approach dating too, is I'm kind of like, we either vibe or we don't, and it's not a big deal. Like life goes on. The things that I didn't like about it was how he kind of patronized you a little bit. Like it was a little bit patronizing. It was like, well, you're funny and you're sexy and you're smart and you're successful and you're beautiful and you're everything and you're just, but you're just not good enough for me. Well, what are you looking for? What do you want? And so like what I had said to Katie was like, it makes you kind of want to ask him like, okay, I understand that and that's perfectly fine, but could you explain what exactly isn't right with me? You know, and I understand why you didn't want to have that conversation because it's like, whatever, just it is what it is. Like, if you're not interested, you're not interested, let's move on, right? But it kind of makes you want to be like, okay, so what is it? Is it because, and I feel like it has something to do with a superficial thing. Not that you're not beautiful, but maybe he wanted somebody with long hair. Maybe he wanted somebody with bigger boobs. Maybe he's into blondes. You know, it's these little things that I was talking about with picking out fruit at the grocery store. It's that perfectionism. She's all of these amazing things. I mean, you obviously know that because you just listed off all of her qualities that she has. She's amazing, right? What exactly are you looking for then? You
There's
know?
a Dita Von Teese quote that says, "You can be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, and you'll still find someone that doesn't like peaches."
Yeah. Sorry, time to get my. This is my blanket that my bestie got me for my birthday, by the way.
That'd be me, by the way.
I love this blanket. Mila loves it too. Oh Lord, I done flung it. Oh well. Oh well, guys.
Yes, we missed Jess's 40th birthday, but I'm not going to sing at her because you'll all turn off. So
we didn't miss it. I was there for it, hun.
Yeah, we podcast land missed it. We missed it, right?
I definitely had it. I feel great being 40. It was so funny because my family came over and like all the cards and the gifts were. It wasn't them. It was just like, what is the brand of turning 40 is like, you're still amazing. You're still worthy. We're still rooting for you. And I'm like, damn, like, I'm not even depressed about it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But everybody who's like turning 40 is like, don't worry. You know, and I just, my family laughed so hard when I brought that up because it was like every gift, every card was like a pump up. Like, you still got this.
They're like, hey, you're not dead yet. Thanks. Yes.
Like, okay, because if I wasn't feeling depressed about 40, I am now, you know, but I appreciate it. Like, honestly.
Oh, funny. And yeah, that's really interesting when it comes to this conversation about dating. Dating when you're older is interesting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the last time I was on a dating app properly, I mean, I kind of dabbled before, but nothing really serious. Properly, I was 28, 29. So like, and to see, and I know the whole thing with technology and I know all that, but I'm talking about people to people, person to person. Dating as you get older is a whole different thing because everyone's got freaking baggage, man. Everyone's like, I've got the kids here, I've got that kid, and I've got the ex over here, and they've got the house, and it's just like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, it reminds me of a episode in Sex and the City, which I know that you're not a fan of that show, but it reminds me of an episode where this guy that was friends with one of the main male characters, Mr. Big, he was like so bitter. And he was still trying to be out there dating. And he's like, just divorce the second bitch. She's getting everything the first bitch didn't get. It's like, bro, like, you know, like, you're on a date here. Relax. And I understand that because it's like, yeah, everybody has baggage as an older person. Like everybody is jaded and all this, which is, it's kind of crazy because I'm really not jaded. Yeah. Like it's hard. It's hard being on these websites when you're like kind of in that mindset of we're just starting out and I'm excited. And I mean, yeah, I've obviously had my heart stomped on several times. I've just done my healing work. Yeah. I'm not carrying that around anymore. I'm not blaming every other man on this planet for what these men did to me. Mm-hmm. And so it's really hard because not everybody is like that.
No, I will say that is a huge red flag for me when I'm going through the app and seeing who's there. If the language is that kind of bitter, angry, I'm just looking for a woman that won't fuck me over, I just go, nope. Yeah, doesn't matter what he looks like, doesn't matter how hot he is, nope, because you are angry and I don't want to be your bloody punch bag. Thank you very much.
Yeah. People who like have like, you know, I don't want any drama brought into my life, like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. It's definitely one of those things where it's annoying. I feel like my two biggest things so far on the dating apps is number one, the lack of communication. Because again, somebody who has looked at your picture, hopefully read your profile, because I've definitely got people who have not read my profile. They just looked at my picture.
Me too.
And, you know, and then you still decided to go ahead and message me. Why aren't you talking and trying to get to know me? It feels like it's a waste of time, or it feels like somebody who's like bored, or I don't know. It just feels weird because it's like, it's different when I feel like when you go to like a club or a bar, you still obviously have to talk to somebody and communicate to them. But when you only have that communication of a dating app, like that is how we are getting to know each other, is through communication.
Yeah.
It's like you have to put some kind of effort into it. And again, as we were talking about in 2026, it's not safe for anybody, male, female, or in between. It's not safe for anybody to meet somebody off of a dating app. So you can't expect somebody to meet you when you've said, hi, how you doing? I'm good.
Oh, do you remember that guy who was talking to? Well, he tried to talk to me and his like literally his first message to me was, when are we going to meet? Yeah, and I'm like, can we just start talking? But I was in the middle of doing dinner. So I got off the app and then was cooking dinner. And when I got back on the app, there were 2 messages. The first one was, yes, that's no problem. I don't mind talking. 5 minutes later, I got one word. So, question mark, question mark, question mark, because I hadn't immediately like, oh my God, yes, that'd be great. And so I essentially called him out. I was like, I'm really sorry. I'm busy with my kids right now. I'm cooking their dinner. I'm not going to jump on just to talk to you just because you want me to. And quite frankly, I don't like the way you've just spoken to me. Anyway, he blocked me. So I love it when the trash takes itself out.
Yeah. And honestly, I was like, that's a win for you, Katie, because I would have just blocked him and not even had the conversation. But sometimes you need to. Like, sometimes people need to be told, even if he blocked you and he's like, oh, she's just whatever. And he doesn't really reflect. It's like, he still needs to be told, like, your behavior is inappropriate.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, getting to know somebody just a little bit, like, again, you don't have to spend do whatever you're comfortable with. If you want to meet somebody off of just a couple chats, great. If you want to meet somebody after it's been months of chatting, great. That's completely up to you, what you're comfortable with. And somebody who genuinely likes you and wants to get to know you will be okay with that. They will be okay with going at your pace. It's compromising in a relationship. So that has been my first issue on dating sites. My second issue is running across men, and I'm sure it's the same for men with women. So, but as we talked about before we got on here, I'm not dating women. So I can't give my perspective of what is happening with females on dating sites. I can only talk about males. Yeah. But running across men who are insecure because of my accomplishments in life. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things where, like, I had somebody who told me, and I call him the personality test guy, because he was the one, he had like a personality test that he had done on his profile, and that's how he figured out his personality. I had never done that before, so I went and found mine out, and I was like, oh, wow, that fits. So that's his nickname that I called him. But we talked a little bit, and he asked me about my job and what I do. He asked me what I do as a tarot reader and a life coach and how I help people. And I broke it down of the different things that I've helped people with over the years. And he told me that he finds me to have done so much self-work and development that I probably am not going to be able to have a relationship. And that he doesn't understand why I'm even on a dating site. I'm so above all of this. Like, bro, I'm not freaking Gandhi out here eating like the dew off of a leaf and like, praying on the mountain. Like, I am a human that crashes out quite frequently, actually. Like, I have flaws. I'm a human. And also, Our relationships, no, it's our relationships only for people who are damaged?
Apparently so. Discuss. I would
really like, you know what I mean? Like, are the only, and if that's the case, what you're doing right now is telling me that you're damaged. Okay. And that you haven't done your work.
1,000%, 1,000%, right? I literally had a guy on Tuesday, and he was like, so I was telling him everything that I do, my business, the way I help people like you, and I get my kids, and I'm doing a part-time psychology degree, and he literally came back with, oh, you're way out of my league. I was like, yeah. And then blocked me, and I'm like, okay, bye. Yeah. And I know you were like, we had talked about that, and you were like, well, I should be able to decide that. And I was like, that's true, but also what he's saying is valid. If he feels like you're out of his league, then he knows himself better than you. And maybe he actually is honest and true about that. Should he have maybe taken it a different way, and blocking you is kind of childish? I mean, I guess. But at the same time, I have been with insecure guys. I have been with guys who look at my success as some kind of threat or competition to what they're doing in their life. It's not fun when you feel like you can't talk about your achievements and your success with your partner. Your partner should be your best friend. They should be your biggest supporter. Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're with somebody who's insecure, and the more you shine, the more they're just like Susie side-eyeing you, and like, it's like, it's not a great thing. So while it was really uncomfortable with that guy for him to say those things to me, I was like, well, I'm happy that I found it out now.
Yes.
And that he was honest with me. Although I don't like how he tried to take what I have done with my life and make it an argument of why I can't be in a relationship, or I wouldn't be good in a relationship.
I mean, talk about insecurity, right? It's not enough for him to go, oh, you're out my league, because you would make me feel insecure because of his own stuff. But then to try and tear you down and make you feel less than just for being you, that's a real shitty thing to do.
Yeah, and I didn't actually just block him. I did go ahead and what was crazy about it too was like he gave me his phone number and was like, I think we would make really good friends. Well, honey, I'm not on here for friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need help having friends. I have a friend. Her name is Katie. Okay, like I'm not somebody who needs all these friends. I have a friend. I found her. She's great. I'm not on here for friends. I'm on here to find my life partner.
Yes, which is actually one of my points I wrote down on my piece of paper was that I have found, so in my bio, I'm very honest, and everybody should be, I think, about what they want. And sometimes it can be a bit like, oh, you know, he just was doing this or saying this. But if you look at his bio, he says that he wants something casual. You can't make someone want what they don't want, right? Gotcha. However, on my bio, it says that I am looking for a long-term relationship because I am, right? And so what happens is I have found, and I'm hoping it's going to change, guys tend to come at me with one of two energies. One, they kind of like, it's like that friend energy, and it's like there's no real flirtation, there's no banter, it's just kind of like a pen pal at this point. How's your day? Sorry, how's your day? You know, it's that kind of energy. There's no level up from that. Well, I'm not here to make friends. It's not a friendship app. It's not a pen pal app. We're here to date. The other extreme I have found, and I've had to call guys out on it, is that they just seem to want me for one thing. And I'm going, look, I like that too. I'm a woman. I'm not, I'm not dead from the leg down. I like that too. But can we get to know each other a little bit before we kind of jump into that? Like, try and have a boundary. And some guys, I mean, the amount of guys I've had to like unmatch and just leave them alone because they just, even though it says in my bio, I'm not here for one night stands. I'm not here for casual. I want to meet someone. But I'm like, go on Tinder. That's where everyone seems to be who wants to find that. Go there, because not me.
Yeah. Or like, again, read the profile and respect the boundaries. Yeah. Like boundaries are very important. Having boundaries and then also respecting other people's boundaries. If you look in somebody's profile and it says, I'm not here for a one night stand, I want a long-term relationship, but you know, in your heart of hearts that that's not what you're into, you want something short-term, then just go ahead and swipe and move on. We had this conversation and I have the theory, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, but this is from my own perspective. I feel like there is a lot of misogyny in the world. Okay. And so I feel like one of the things is that men, not all men, we're generalizing here. Okay. So please, we understand it's not all men, but there are certain men who look at it as like, it's okay for them to sleep around, but it's not okay for women. It somehow degrades them or lowers their value if they have a lot of sexual partners. Yeah. Okay. But they don't want those women because, again, in their misogynistic mind, they look at it as like those women are less valuable. So they want the women who aren't sleeping around, but yet they want to just sleep around. So they basically are essentially going into a bar and looking at the champagne and wanting champagne, but only being willing to spend beer money. Well, you don't want beer, but you only have beer money. Make it make sense. So, and it's for me, it's like for also just for all of these men out there that are like, a woman, it degrades her value. Who are all these men sleeping around with? Women, or unless they're all sleeping around with men, which is fine. You do you, hun, right? But I'm assuming that they're sleeping with women. So you can't have both ways. You can't have women be what you need to satisfy your urges, but then also have women be pristine and pure and you know what I mean? So that kind of thinking, I feel like that's what happens is why men who are only looking for short term go after women who clearly have on their profile that that's not what they want.
Yeah. I totally agree, but it's that kind of that old narrative of the virgin versus the whore, right? So there are women who a man would sleep with, but she's not a woman that he would want as his life partner, his wife, and the mother of his children, which is fair because not every man I've been with, I've not looked and gone, this is my life partner, this is the love of my life.
Yeah,
I know that you can't. To make a judgment on a woman based on her sexual activity and see her as a whore or a virginal is insane to me. It's insane to me because we don't do it to men. And it's a whole separate conversation. But a man who does that is a stud or a player, but a woman that does it is a slut and a whore. It's a whole thing, right? We know.
Yeah. And it's because women's bodies have been dictated and controlled, and since the dawn of time. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, makeup is a perfect example, right? Like, and I had this conversation with somebody on Facebook the other day. It wasn't a dating thing. It was just a conversation because some man had created an app to use AI to take a woman's picture where she has makeup and then show what she looks like without makeup, which you don't really know what somebody is looking like without makeup. So of course AI is going to add dark circles and lines and
Yeah.
pox and because it doesn't know. There's makeup covering it. You don't know what she looks like without makeup. Yeah. But anyways, but it was like a thing to like, see, this is like what women do. They put on makeup. Women's bodies and their whole look has been policed since forever. I mean, we're expected to stay young and to stay hairless and to have curves in all the right places and to never age and to this and that. And it's like, it's not just from men, it's from women too. Like society at large has told women what is acceptable and what is not acceptable for their looks. Yeah. Why demonize the person that's just trying to fit into the societal standard? Yeah. I mean, if you have a man that goes to the grocery store and has a cutoff t-shirt with big bushy underarm hair and hair on his legs, nobody is going to say anything because that's normal, right? But if a woman goes to the store and she has a cutoff t-shirt with big bushy underarm hair and hair on her legs, most people are going to look at her like she is disgusting because hair on a woman is disgusting, whereas on a man, it's completely acceptable. And yeah. I know this for a fact because I have many times throughout my life not shaved my underarms. I actually don't have my underarms shaved now. It doesn't bother me. Yeah. But I have been told years ago, oh, that's disgusting, when a man saw me in a tank top with hair under my arms. This is a man I don't know. A complete stranger off the street that I don't know told me I was disgusting because I have hair that naturally grows on my body. So everybody needs to shut the fuck up. Okay, like that's how I feel. Like I'm so over this shit. Everybody just shut the fuck up and mind your own business. Okay, that's what we need to do in 2026.
The point, and then you were like, just shut the fuck up.
Right? Just shut the fuck up. I'm so tired of people's opinions. Well, it's my opinion. Shut the hell up. Okay, nobody asked for your opinion. All right, like nobody cares about your opinion. You don't like a hair under your arms? Shave your fucking hair under your arms, or go be with a woman who shaves her underarms. There's plenty of time.
Exactly. It's a whole thing, right? We know. What I will say is that one of, as I mentioned earlier, the healing thing on your own versus the healing thing with other people. And, you know, as Gabby Bernstein said, you know, relationships are our biggest teachers. My thing, and we've talked about this, I know, is that I have a tendency to jump in with both feet really fucking quickly. And we've talked about this. I'm like, oh my God, I'm talking to this guy and he's so nice. And I'm trying to be all cool with Jess. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm just being open and we'll just see where it goes. But inside I'm like, oh my God, this could be my person, right? I am jumping in really quickly. And then when it doesn't work out because you girl's still single, I then feel rejected. So and that to me has been like, okay, you've still got healing to do here. You've still got work to do on yourself, because I know that you're trying to be more detached and be like, it is what it is, but it's a whole nother level, right?
Yeah, I think it's just like, again, this dating situation and being in these dating apps shows us as an individual what we need to heal and work on, which is actually really valuable, right? So whereas taking rejection and looking at that like, oh, there's something wrong with you because you were rejected, versus they have their own reasons and it's none of my business. Because at the end of the day, if you don't mesh with me, you don't mesh with me, right? Yeah. I think that that's something that, again, is valuable for you to continue to work on. And it's, you know, rejection sucks. Like, rejection isn't easy for anybody, and it hurts. But understanding that rejection is not a reflection of your own personal value and worth is huge.
Yes.
So, you know, yeah, we went at this with different perspectives. For me, I'm like, whereas Katie has been jumping in like cannonball style, just tuck and roll, like bam into it. I have been like tipping my toe in, like, is the water right? Because I'm not jumping in unless the water's right. So, and I'm not saying that's necessarily the most healthiest way either. I admire the fact that at one point you had like 2 dates in 1 week. I was like, okay, we'll get it, girl, you know? For me, it's like, I admire that willingness to be open, because I know that me not necessarily being as open is a trauma response. It might be a different trauma response than you, and we have different ways that we handle things, but it's still a trauma response to not really be willing to be open and kind of guard yourself. So I recognize that within myself. I'm still not going to go on a date unless I feel like I want to, though. So it's just kind of one of those things.
Well, that's not a bad thing, right? I suppose like the issue will come when you really want to, but then you're giving me 1,000 reasons why you can't. Right?
Yeah, because And it's one of those things where it's like, I'll work on it and everything. I say like with the right person, but I don't know if there is this magical, mystical right person. Again, I think it's all about your own reflection of yourself. For me, I don't really go out places just like you. So if I'm going to get dressed and go out and do the whole thing and face people, because I am definitely an introvert. So facing people is like one of those things where it's like, I want it to be for somebody that I'm excited about meeting.
Yes.
You know, not just somebody where it's like, well, they're okay and I'll see where it goes. Like, I want to be excited. So yeah.
And that's the feeling you're looking for, right? That's why I told you the guys I'm talking to right now, one of them's really nice and he's sweet, but like I say, he doesn't give me I don't feel the thing. And I say the girl. You've got to feel the girl. You've got to be like, imagine yourself. I always try and do that now. Imagine yourself kissing that person.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't make you feel a certain type of way, that's a huge sign to me.
If you're like, no, God, please, right? That's probably a sign. I feel like, that goes hand in hand with your expectations, but also your level of, I don't know what the word would be. So I don't think desperation is the right word, but like willingness or want or desire to be with somebody. Like if you're just wanting to be with somebody just because you need a warm body in your bed and it don't even matter, that is for me a blindingly clear red flag that you have some codependency issues. So you should not, in my personal opinion, even really be on a date with somebody that you've already decided that you would not want to kiss them. Like, what are you doing here?
I agree. I saw someone saying, like, how many people are in relationships with someone they don't even really like?
Yeah. And which is, it's so true. And like, that which I haven't really talked about it on my YouTube for not personal, but professional reasons. But I do work with a psychic network. I don't want to say the name just because of their guidelines and stuff. But I do work with a psychic network where I give readings, and a lot of them, 100% almost of them, are love. Right. Yeah. And it has been like very eye-opening in a not great way of so many people that are in relationships that should not be in those relationships. Like being in a relationship with somebody, but then getting a psychic reading where you're paying an astronomical amount of money because you want to know if this other person is jealous because you're in this relationship with this person. It's like, I feel sorry for the person that you're with. That's who I feel sorry for, because it's damaging. And we've all, maybe not all of us, but I have certainly been a stand-in Sandra.
Me too.
Me too.
Yep, 100%.
And it sucks when you're there and you're thinking that you're building something with somebody, but the whole time their energy is focused on a whole other person. Like, it's devastating and it's really harmful. So it has been very enlightening on that platform, working with people and being like, oh, wow, is this really what it's like out there? It's kind of like, I don't know. I started the whole dating journey and then I quit, as you know. I was like, I'm not gonna fuck this. You know what? I don't got time for these people. Like, these people are crazy. I was like, I don't need this. I am fine single. I've been fine single. And then I was like, okay, we can't just give up just because we met a few. Like, you have to kiss a couple frogs before you meet your prince, as they say.
Yes. Yeah, you do. You do. I'm just, getting tired of the frogs. If, sexual real people could come along, that would be great. I never wanted to go out with Kermit. I like Kermit. I don't want to date Kermit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it is one of those things where it's like you start to get. So we had just talked about those people who have like the angry, bitter things in their profile. Like, I'm not here to be messed around with. I don't want drama. I understand in a sense why they are kind of like that, because it's like you want to kind of just put in your profile, like, why are you here? Why is anybody here? What does any of this mean? Like, because it can get like really exhausting.
Yeah, it can. And it's hard. And you do get kind of like, oh, God, another one. And so I get that. But like you say, if you can't bring that kind of energy into every connection, because you never know who you're going to be talking to, right? It's that thing of going like the trauma that you've got from a past relationship, you're going to not heal that. And then you're going to dump that on the new person, even though they've got nothing to do with it and don't even know what you've been through. But you're like, my last relationship cheated on me, so I need to see your phone. I need to know where you are. And he's just like, whoa, It's just the thing. Like, I get that dating apps are hard, and there are a lot of people out there that it's very flaky, or they're messing you around, or there's catfishing, whatever. But you can't. In my humble opinion, for what it's worth, I don't think you can have that in your bio, that kind of energy, because you could potentially put up somebody that is a good match for you.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, because that energy that you're bringing it's like, that is like the first first impression.
Yep.
And the first impressions, as we know, are lasting impressions. And
yes.
so, yes, I have like for example, I've seen several men, their profile will say, let's skip the small talk. Let's go have dinner. No, Howard. Okay, I'm not fucking skipping the small talk. I have children that I would like to make it back to, right? Like I'm not skipping the small talk to go have dinner with you. Like the small talk is where we're seeing if we want to have dinner.
100%, 100%.
Like I just, that kind of stuff to me is just really like odd. But yeah, I feel like it's just, you know, dating, being on dating sites is not for the weak.
My last point before we close this up, and it's I'm trying to end on a kind of, you know, is so many men cannot take a photograph. If I have to see one more guy put the phone down here and look down at the camera so he gets a beautiful double chin and not smiling in any of his pictures, I'm going to cry.
He wants to give you a preview of what you're going to be looking at. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wants to give you a preview of, like, if you're okay with this view of me, right? Because this is most likely where this is going, God willing, right? So if you are okay with seeing me from this angle, we're going to work out.
Guys, like, so many people look better when they smile. And to go through someone's profile and every picture of them is like that. I'm like, crack a smile, beautiful. Jesus. Or if it's a group shot, so there's like 5 of them, 4 of them, 6 of them, and they don't highlight which one they are because they're going to go, well, the woman's going to fancy one of us, so then she'll scroll on it.
Yeah, and it's like, if I have to kind of, where's Waldo in the profile picture, I'm instantly like out. For me, 2 big things that I do not like with profile for pictures, since we're talking about that.
Yeah.
First one is, I do not like it when every picture has your ex cut off, but I can see her arm or her blonde hair.
Or
right?
they put like a smiley face over her.
Like, you just scribbled her face out. Like, do you do anything? Do you have any other pictures? Do you do anything on your own? Or do you have any pictures of you just with yourself or even with your boys, like, and just have a circle around your face? This is me. Right? Since we know you're good at using that motherfucking editing app, scribbling out your ex's face, like, can you just circle? That bothers me. And also when guys have their children in pictures, I do not like that because it's like, not that you have a child. I actually find that to be a green flag if you have a child.
Yeah.
But because you need to protect your child. You shouldn't have your child up here. And also your child is not a prop to show me that you are a decent human being, hun.
Yeah, 1000%. I totally agree. I have no issues with men being fathers. Clearly, I'm not bothered. Well, I totally agree with you because it's almost like it's the human equivalent of a guy holding a puppy. It's kind of like him going, look, I'm sensitive. I'm an empath and I'm an emotionally like, I have a child. Look how nice they are. And you're like, this is the internet, sweetheart. You don't know who's looking at that. Your kid's on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even put pictures of my children on my my YouTube channel. Like I don't do that, you know, because it's protecting your kids from people who are weird out there. And again, for me, it just screams of that desperation of see me as an empathic human being. See me as I have children. I've raised children, right? Like a lot of people have raised children, hun. Like it doesn't make you a great human being at the end of the day.
Nope.
So yeah, those are my biggest things when it comes to photographs. Like, please keep your ex where she should be, which is in the past.
I've seen guys who literally have not blocked them out at all. So you've got a guy there who's looking for a relationship, standing next to a woman, and I'm kind of like, right, is that his sister? Or is that his ex? Or is that just he's in a relationship and he's looking for a third, or he's an open relationship? What's going on? Who is this person and why is she in your picture?
Yeah, no, I've seen pictures of men where you can clearly tell that that's like their mother, which is fine for me.
Yeah.
But then I've seen pictures where it's like when they're with a woman, usually when I look at the profile, because I get curious instantly. When I look at the profile, they are looking for a third. And I have been approached several times, which I find to be so freaking ironic because I'm already a magnet for like unavailable and married men. And even on dating sites. I mean, I guess these married men are a little bit more available since they're on the dating site and they don't need to be a third. But still, it's kind of like, it is what it is. Everybody has their own thing that they're doing, but it's like, please, like, if I say that I'm looking for my life partner in a long-term relationship, then why are you and your wife trying to message me? I'm looking for my life partner, not life partners. No, I'm not looking for my life partners. I'm looking for a life partner.
Singular. One. Just one.
Like I read somebody's profile one time and it said, let's go to Disney World and have fun. And then afterwards, make some real magic in the hotel room. I'm like,
Have a new. You take your magic one, sweetheart, and you go sort yourself out. I'll see you later.
At this point, because I have not been intimate with somebody in like 7 years. So at this point, being like both of them coming at me at once, I would get so overstimulated. I would start like punching people. I would feel like just throwing punches. I would be so overstimulated. Like I couldn't do it, you know?
You might want to be. Oh, bless you. Bless you.
God.
Look, essentially, guys, dating is a whole new adventure, and it's one that we're going on together, which is nice because we get to kind of debrief and share this crap. Yeah. But watch the space, right? We will see how this pans out for sure.
3 years later, yes. And they're still single.
She's doing this when we're like in our 80s. So I've been trying on a dating app for 40 years. Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a meme where it's like a skeleton on a bench and it says still waiting for the right guy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, one thing that I will say that out of this whole dating experience that I'm happy with is that we are talking with each other about this, because for our relationship that we have, being best friends for a decade now, there, believe it or not, has not been a lot of discussion about romance or men. Not only because we have not been really focused on that, but also because there's been kind of like this weirdness of insecurity, of wanting to be vulnerable when it comes to our own insecurities with men. Like now we're open about the fact that we can have anxious attachment styles, and you know, it does suck when you get rejected. And I just really like how much closer that this whole experience has brought us as friends.
I agree. So hey, at least there's one silver lining so far, and we'll see if we get any more.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see.
We will see. But anyways, my darlings, if you're still here, thank you. We hope that this has been enlightening, at the very least entertaining. And if you're in the dating world yourself, if you're on the apps, we're with you, sister. We feel for you. It's fun, but you know, we're here with you. That's for sure. But yeah, just thank you for watching. We really appreciate you, right?
Yeah, we appreciate you guys, and you know, hopefully there will be more consistent uploads in the future. May has been crazy with me with all of my readings. It has just been, I haven't had the strength or energy to do really anything.
No, I get it. And of course, I had my psychology essay, and I did the women's retreat last weekend. So we've both been like stupidly busy, but we're back now, and we will give you back to our regularly scheduled programming, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been fun. Bye.
It's been real. We love you, and we'll see you next